common ground.
Duval till we die.
1010XL. Now, the window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter on 1010XL. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings. Here are your hosts, Ryan the Hacker Green, Leon Searcy, and Coach Campo.
Drops the throw, fires a fade to the left corner. That ball is going to be caught for the touchdown, a fourth touchdown pass. It was Keenan Allen, a 3-yard touchdown pass. He beat Monteric Brown, a fade in the left corner of the end zone.
Frank Frangie on the call, Jaguars Radio, and with that, a good Sunday afternoon to you, Jacksonville. It is the window world of Northeast Florida. Fifth quarter, we are presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings with the head coach Dave Campo and the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy, the hacker Ryan Green with you. And your Jacksonville Jaguars fall today in London 35-16 to the Chicago Bears. They are now 1-5 on the year. And I want to issue an apology to Jaguar fans. I think that when you go out to training camp and when you go out to mini camp and OTAs, we have the luxury of going out there during the offseason. The fans can only go to training camp. So we try to tell them, to best of our knowledge, how the team is looking this offseason. And I sat on Hacker After Dark night after night, week after week, this entire offseason, and said, hey, you know, I think the Jaguars are going to be in that 9-win, 10-win range. They can compete for a division title. Certainly be in touch for a wild card spot. Trent Baalke was masterclass. He's done a great job this offseason. And when I'm wrong, I will flat out admit I am wrong. And I'm wrong. This team is awful. At 1-5, you could argue they're the worst team in football. They're certainly the most disappointing team in football, either them or Cincinnati, but I think Jacksonville would be in that conversation clearly. And now, in the big story this afternoon, is you have one of their team leaders, Andre Cisco, telling our colleague Brent Martineau in the postgame locker room that he, quote, saw a lot of quit among his teammates during that game today. There's an awful lot to digest, but I just first want to apologize to Jaguar fans for me telling you that this was going to be a better product than it is, because this team sucks right now.
Yeah, they do. And, I'm emotionally invested in this team, not only because, we follow them, we report them, but I play with them. There was at one particular point in the game I'm watching, and I just say, the hell with it. I'm done. Because, me and Coach get ramped up. Being a former coach, me being a former player, I get ramped up when I see the team. When they make mistakes, when they make big plays, I celebrate. When they make mistakes, I curse at them viciously. But now...
Would you like to share some of that verbiage?
No, I don't. But now, this team is bad. It's just all bad. Listen, for the next 6 games that this team plays, they're only going to be favored in one, rightfully so. That'll probably be the Patriots next week in London. But the rest of the games, the pain is coming. The Eagles, the Vikings, the Lions, the Texans, all that is coming.
The next home game, the Packers.
Yes.
There's going to be 40,000 Green Bay fans in that stadium.
Rightfully so. I wouldn't be mad. Listen, I don't want to go see a bad product. If this is what you're going to give me every week, why should I got 10?
Well, let's get to the head coach, Dave Campo. They're awful. Your thoughts?
Well, if they win 11 in a row, we're going to be 12-5.
And if I grow a foot and a half taller, I'll be in the NBA.
Listen, way too many mistakes. I mean, when you look at a football team, you kind of say, the initial thought is kind of what we all have from an emotional standpoint, that the team stinks. Well, there's good plays and there's bad plays. And unfortunately, we go 1 step forward and 2 steps back. This football team, for some reason, first of all, they're not a resilient football team. They're not a team that can come back from adversity. And you can't win in this league without that, because every game you go into, there's going to be adversity. Mm-hmm. These teams are too close together, personnel and athletic ability and all those things. So right now, when you look at this team, we're a bad football team, period.
Let me ask both of you guys, because both of you guys had strong reactions to this. We'll begin with the Pro Bowler, Leon Searcy. When you hear Andre Cisco, who knew he was on camera, Action News, Action Sports, was in the locker room in London, our colleagues at Action Sports, and when he says, and he actually said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he looked at it and he said, all right, how do I say this? I saw a lot of quit today.
Mm-hmm.
What's your reaction to that as a former player?
Well, it's disheartening to hear him say that. But if I was a player on that team, I would step to Cisco and ask him, where was the quit, and give me names of who quit. Because Cisco, in my opinion, is in no position to say that his teammates quit on him when he's been playing the way he's been playing the last couple of weeks.
Cisco threw himself under the bus, too. He said, I speak for everybody, including myself.
Yeah, I agree. But here's the thing. If you're saying that there was quit on the sideline, then I need names. I need who? If you're man enough to say it on camera, you need to be man enough to tell the guys who were quitting that they were quitting.
Well, what was interesting is he went on, and again, I'm paraphrasing here. I don't have the exact quote, but he basically inferred that when you're out there, you should at least have the decency to compete for your brothers, because whether for injury purposes or for their career.
And also, if I'm Doug Peterson, I find him, because Doug is on the ropes right now. That's conduct detrimental to say that the team quit, because that makes Doug look bad. He said that the team quit. Underneath my watch, you're saying that the guys that I coach this game are quitting on me. So, I mean, listen, he has a right to say what he has to say. But what I'm saying is, Doug is already on the ropes. All right? His job is already on the line. And then for one of your teammates, one of your captains, one of your leaders will step to you and say, on that field of play where you're supposed to give your all, you saw guys quitting.
Coach, your reaction to Andre Cisco's comments?
Mine is the same as Leon's, from the standpoint that, sometimes you like people to be transparent, but the one thing you don't do is that you don't disparage guys on your football team in public, period. So if I was the head coach, the first thing I would have had, if I heard that, tomorrow Cisco would be in my office, and I'd just flat out tell him, I don't appreciate it. And that's conduct detrimental to the football team when you say it in public.
One of the things I love about the three of us doing a show, former head coach, former Pro Bowler, media guy that eats chicken wings on the couch, okay? We got three different perspectives here. Media fan guy who drinks cold beer and eats chicken wings, although not anymore because I've lost 100 pounds, but you get the point. Former head coach, former player. From my perspective, hearing Andre Cisco say that, he's saying what a lot of fans want to hear. Because a lot of fans are looking at what in the hell is going on.
Yep.
Why are guys wide open?
Right.
Why can't you stop 98-year-old Joe Flacco last week? Why is 21-year-old Caleb Williams looking like Joe Montana on you today? Defense, what are you doing? So when you have one of your main leaders, an Andre Cisco, look into a microphone and into a camera and say he saw, quote, a lot of quit, I almost think fans kind of appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, because they get that kind of information. That's locker room information that they're getting on TV. That kind of conversation that you're saying about your teammates or your coaching staff is supposed to be held within the realms of a team meeting room or in a film room. When you say it out front, now that means that you're projecting that you're playing with a bunch of quitters.
Yeah, you're throwing your football team under the bus.
Yes.
The coaches, on the other hand, are working their tails off not to throw you under the bus. So, to me, that's a slap in the face of the coaching staff. Now, could he be right? We're not playing very well, and we don't handle adversity very well, and that usually shows that you're not a very tough-minded group. So what he's saying might be correct. I just think when it goes into the public, all of a sudden you're throwing everybody in that room under the bus.
You're the defensive guy. You've coached defensive football in the NFL for decades. The defense is terrible. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Why sugarcoat? The defense sucks right now. What is wrong with the defense?
Well, they're making way too many mistakes. I mean, the one on the goal line, I guarantee you. Here's my problem. I watched the game, and I think I'm I think I can look at a tape and figure out what a team is trying to do, okay, on defense. Are they in a cover 3? Are they in a cover 2? What happened on that play? There's way too many times this year that it's looked like they're playing man on one side and zone on the other, which is okay as long as everybody in the secondary knows that it's man on one side and zone on the other. The problem becomes when one side's playing man and the other's playing zone and they don't know that, and a guy ends up wide open like the tight end in the corner of the end zone. I couldn't tell whether or not the linebacker busted when the outside guy came underneath. He pulled off the tight end like it was a pass-off with the corner. The corner came in with him, so two guys are on the underneath route, and nobody's on the tight end on the corner route. Those are the kind of things that really kind of you look back and you say, whoa, somebody's busting something on the coaching staff, or the players are just not paying attention to what they're doing.
Leon, offensively, there were also so many problems. I don't even know where to begin, but I'll begin here. 10-plus plays, opening drive, Gabe Davis drops the touchdown. All right, we get a field goal, 3-0. Great drive. They did nothing after that in the entire first half. I think they had 3 straight 3-and-outs. They paid $275 million for their quarterback. And in the next 3 series, I don't think Trevor Lawrence threw the ball more than 5 yards downfield. They're running the ball, and they can't run the ball because the offensive line's terrible. And then they're doing 1 yard down and outs, or wide receiver screens, or 2-yard button hooks. What did you pay Gabe Davis and draft Brian Thomas Jr. and pay Christian Kirk and pay Evan Ingram and pay Trevor Lawrence for if you're not going to throw the ball past 5 yards down the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, it's bad offense, absolutely bad offense. Another thing that I noticed about this team is that when a team gets physical with us up front, when they pull up their bootstraps and say, hey, we're going to punch you in the mouth, we usually get punched in the mouth. This isn't a very physical football team. We're a finesse football team. We don't respond well to adversity or pressure or teams uplifting their game. When they throw us a punch, we retreat and start throwing a punch back. Now, in saying all that, we're just dumb. We're not a very smart football team, especially in crucial moments, especially in the red zone. All right, where we had issues already all season long. We've had issues in the red zone. What happens? Legal procedures, guys in motion. You know, we're not good enough to put ourselves in 1st and 15 or 2nd and 12 situations. And we just do it game after game after game on the crucial moments where we need points, need touchdowns. We get illegal procedures. We get guys in motion. We get all that kind of stuff. And then you got to topple all that. You got wide receivers wide open in the end zone and dropping balls. They dropping touchdowns. We dropped literally 3 touchdowns today. 3 touchdowns today. Can't have that.
You know,
part of the problem you have, though, is one of the reasons we beat the Colts is that we got the ball out of the quarterback's hands because of the concern with the offensive line. So that physical part that Leon's talking about, you know, this offense right now is geared on that, is to, again, run the football. You know, don't put us in situations where it's 3rd and long where they can get after us. And we had another one today where number 7 was open for a touchdown. Well, he dropped 1 touchdown pass, but the other one we underthrew.
A horrible underthrow.
A takeoff. So they're just not making plays. They're not making plays, and they're giving up bad plays. That's the issue.
To that point, Trevor Lawrence, was he great today? No. I don't even know if I'd call him good. But he wasn't terrible.
No.
But when your guys are dropping balls, when your defense can't stop the opposing team, when your offensive line is getting you killed, and you really can't run the ball again, I mean, what do you want Trevor to do back there?
I want him to be Caleb. Caleb had issues with his offensive line, all right, but he found a way.
Caleb's also got much better wide receivers.
Well, all things equal, we had Evan Ingram today, didn't we? That was a welcome addition to us. He's not really a tight end. He's a flex guy. So all things equal, Brian Thomas, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Gabe Davis, you put them against those guys. I mean, I think the scale is pretty equal.
Maybe. I mean, Keenan Allen being healthy is a gigantic deal for Chicago.
That's true.
He tore the Jaguars apart.
That's true. But I mean, and Chicago's offensive line isn't elite. They're okay, but somehow they found a way to block us. It's swift, you know. All I'm saying is that Caleb Williams, despite, you know, maybe liabilities at certain areas, he still found ways to throw 4 touchdowns on it. Could have been 5. That's all I'm saying.
Did anybody else watching NFL Network and watching the game broadcast, when Doug Peterson went into the locker room and did the interview going into the locker room, did anybody else find that weird? He's sitting there talking, and he almost, I mean, it wasn't a smirk on his face, but he went back to the classic, oh, we got to eliminate the mistakes, right? We got to execute better. That's the motto of the 2024 Jaguars. It's the same thing. Now, I don't know what you can say at this point because arguably they are the worst team in football. Again, you have to do these media responsibilities, so you have to say something. But every time it's let's watch the tape or make the corrections or eliminate the mistakes or execute better. I mean, those are just words, man. They don't mean anything anymore. I don't even care about hearing them.
You know what? The trigger phrase for me that just burns the hell out of me is when they say self-inflicted wounds.
Oh.
No, you got your butt whipped.
Yeah.
It's as if they say self-inflicting wounds as if they had some say in it. No, the Bears had all the say in it, and you crumbled right before our eyes.
Doug, I've always felt that you can coach more in a win than you can in a loss, okay? But there comes a point, you've heard me say, like the Buffalo game, I made the statement, I might not even watch that tape. Throw the tape out and go. Well, Doug in the press conference this afternoon said, I really think we need to watch this tape. He's right, because enough is enough. And he finally said that after a 1-5. I think I probably would have said it a little earlier than that, than 1-5. But I think he's gotten the message now that enough is enough. These guys are not performing when they get on the stage. That's simple to me.
This is the National Football League. This is big boy football, the biggest in the world. How do you have 12 guys on the field in a critical third down?
That's ridiculous.
Not smart football, bro.
No.
It's just not smart football.
And that's a discipline issue.
Yeah, it is a discipline. You know, when you have those kind of silly mistakes, that's an indictment on the coaches staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you go through all this during the week.
Yeah.
You go through personnel changes throughout the week. Guys on the sideline, they call certain personnel, they run out on the field. So to have 12 guys on the field makes the coaches look like they don't know what the hell they're doing. When you go over this every day in practice.
They don't. If you have an extra guy on the field, that's your responsibility. That's the special teams guy's responsibility to make sure. You never seen a special team guy work when there's an injury on the sideline. You did. You have. You've been there.
I mean,
but that is the coach's responsibility to make sure that there's not 12 on the field.
3 straight third downs for one of the Bears' touchdown drives. 3 straight third downs. There was a 12 guy on the field, automatic first down, and then there was 2 holdings on Ronald Darby.
Yep.
Where is the rubber nose and the hair and the big shoes and the face paint? Because they sure as hell look like clowns.
Yeah.
3 straight third downs in the National Football League. Call them ticky-tack penalties. Call them what you want. You know how it's being called. If you're Darby, you just got called for it 90 seconds prior. Mm-hmm. And you do the same thing the next third down?
That's what Leon's saying. Dumb players. You can't have that, bro. You know they're watching you. I'm going to tell you what refs do initially. They probably warn you first. Hey, a little touchy on that guy.
He did. One of the officials went over to Doug Peterson and said on one play and said something to the effect of, hey, you need to back your guy up a little bit. He's getting awful close. To one of the offensive guys being, illegal shift or whatever, being in the wrong, up on the line of scrimmage when he should be off.
We're with you till 4:30. Phone lines are open, 641-1010, 1-5. That's where they are. And by the way, it's a tradition unlike any other. 201 games since Shad Khan took ownership of this football team at the beginning of 2012. It's not an indictment of Shad necessarily, although we're going to get to him in a moment. 201 games. The Jacksonville Jaguars today fell to 60-141. They've lost 69.6% of the games since Shad Khan's been the owner. Another way to say that, they've won 31.4% of the last 201 games played. We're going to step aside. Jonathan Jr., the rest of you guys, you'll be up on the other side with you till 4:30. We'll keep you updated on teams that are actually winning games in these 1 o'clock games. Green Bay's up big on Arizona. There's a really good one going on between Baltimore and the Commanders. By the way, the Commanders drafted Jaden Daniels, and he looks like an all-pro. Caleb Williams put 4 touchdowns on the Jags today. He's a rookie. And the Jaguars' 4th-year guy was sitting on the sidelines with 3 minutes to go because the Jaguars threw up the white towel of surrender because the game was that out of hand in a negative way. Absolute humiliating, absolutely embarrassing. But hey, we're with you for another 90-plus minutes, taking your phone calls, 641-1010, here on the Window World of Northeast Florida. fifth quarter. We are presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings. More to do with the head coach Dave Campo and the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy. The hacker Ryan Green with you here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Rake in the savings this fall with Universal Roof and Contract. Enjoy 15% off all roof repairs and replacements with financing options as low as $115 a month. Protecting your home has never been easier. Schedule your free roof inspection today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP. This offer expires October 31st. Protect your home and your wallet. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. It's not just about relaxing. Fishing can be exciting.
That's a big fish in the box right there.
Captain Kevin and the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Veterans Wholesale Cabinets.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more, and please drink responsibly.
Hi, I'm Chuck Farah. We know how important it is for you to have a vehicle after you've been injured in a car accident. So when we represent you for your personal injury claim, we'll help you get a rental car from the insurance company while your car is being repaired. And we'll provide this service at no additional fee. If you're hurt and you've got no car, let my team go to work for you. Farah & Farah, protecting you and your family. Call us at 396-5555 or go to farahandfarah.com. Jacksonville.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, why is it that when you look at how long a store has been in business, that it always seems to be the stores like Underwood's that sell fine quality that have been around the longest?
Frank, that's a question that really doesn't get asked a lot, but it should be. There are a number of reasons, but probably the biggest is because of the endorsements our longtime customers and their pieces of jewelry have given us through the years. You see, when you sell really fine quality jewelry, that piece will last longer and always stay beautiful. It might stay in the same family for generations, and through those years of wear, a lot of compliments will be made and a lot of people will be told where the piece of jewelry came from. You see, at a store like Underwood's, it's our stated goal to be the best jeweler in the South, not the biggest, so everything we do and carry has to help move us toward that goal. And ultimately, it's the satisfied customers wearing fine quality jewelry that have kept Underwood's in Jacksonville since 1928.
Underwood's in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, putting an extra 60 minutes on the clock. The window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings on 1010XL.
Dearness Johnson, the running back, 4-man rush, he drops. Trevor fires deep downfield, and that ball's picked off. 45 running it back inside the 45-yard line. Interception by the Bears. That ball is picked off in the secondary by Josh Blackwell. And the Bears will have great field position again.
Frank Frangie on the call. Jaguars radio, 35-16. Chicago over Jacksonville, and quite frankly, it didn't even really feel that close. Every week here on the fifth quarter, we do give you an offensive player of the game. That offensive player of the game is brought to you by Universal Roof and Contracting. And let's do it now. The Universal Roof and Contracting offensive player of the game.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the offensive player of the game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Honorable mention to Gabe Davis, although he dropped the touchdown. You can't give somebody the player of the game when you drop a touchdown like that. Now, Evan Ingram had a big fumble, but I will give Evan Ingram credit. After 4 weeks off, he comes back in and goes for 10 catches for over 100 yards right out of the gate. It was nice to have Evan Ingram back. Obviously, the fumble was a big play in the game. They had to pick somebody for the offensive player of the game, and Leon will give it to Evan Ingram.
Yeah, I mean, he started out well, except for that fumble. At that particular moment, he was trying to get some extra yards. He got the ball punched out. But you had to know going into the game, that's what Chicago does. That's what they do. They do well. So.
Peanut Tillman back in the day. He's taught them all.
Exactly. But listen, it was good to see him back. It was good to see him have the production that he had. He's definitely need to utilize him. Just got to hold on to that ball, though.
No question about it. Let's go to the phone lines. They're loaded, 641-1010. We ask that you keep it clean, all right, because we're on a 20-second delay anyway. So what you say will not go over the air, and if you say something that you know you're not supposed to say, well, that's just frowned upon. So we would appreciate it if you don't do that. I know tempers are running high, but let's just keep it clean, at least for our purposes, for the next hour and a half plus. Let's head to Buffalo. Let's get our guy Junior in here on the fifth quarter. Junior, go ahead.
Hey, gentlemen. I'm disappointed again. I don't understand why our players can't get up for a football game. You know, I don't understand if they don't understand the odds of them when they were playing Little League football in high school and pro, that there are professional football players. That odds are always against them, and they made it. They're professional football players, and you can't tell me you can't get up for a football game. You lost it because one guy dropped a pass in the end zone, and then you come out with 3 bad penalties trying to get the guy out, a team off the field, and you just dragging all over the place. Their heads are down. I seen our right tackle on the bench with a towel over his head and his head between his head hanging down. Come on. This is the NFL. You made it. You get paid to do this game. You get paid, win or lose, but come on. Where's the energy? Where's the fire? I've been watching this team for years doing the same thing every year, year after year after year. And then at the end of the year, we're going to win 1 or 2 games so we don't get the first pick. We might get the third pick. Oh, look at how they did. They played 2 big games. Yeah, we're going next year. And it's the same darn thing again. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated where these guys can't get up for a game. They lose it. It's just frustrating, guys.
Junior, appreciate it. Junior's called every week here in the fifth quarter. That might be the maddest Leon I've ever heard, Junior.
He's having the meltdown. He's absolutely having the meltdown. Rightfully so. I
get it. Coach, when I'm watching the game, and I'm sure you guys feel this way, there is that sense of, oh, here we go again. I even tweeted it out. Once Gabe Davis dropped that ball, it's like, okay, the drops have started. Turnovers are next, which they were. It's that sense of quicksand that we've been here so many times. The more you try to fight out of it, the further down you go. Do the players feel that at 1-5?
I think they do. I think it's something that is kind of, when you talk about momentum, you know, momentum's a real thing. You know, if somebody makes a big play and all of a sudden everybody's jacked up, it's human nature, I think, when you're losing, that you find those kind of things creep into your mind, and it has to be emphasized over and over and over again that there's going to be those kind of things in every football game, and you can't. Jimmy used to say it all the time, whether it's about conditioning, whether it's about a game, something happens in the game, the mind controls the body. The body does not control the mind. So the mind is the key to the whole thing. If you've got confidence, you're feeling good things are happening, you just play better. I think it's human nature. And when things are going good, your body is not as tired as it is when things are going bad. It's just human nature, and you have to fight that all the time. And that's part of the coaching is to make sure that everybody understands that.
Yeah. I mean, whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. It's on you. It's on you and this team. And this team right now plays like they can't win.
Yeah.
Especially when they get down. I mean, you know how many times I've been in games or I've seen games where teams are down 10, 14 points to come back. This team is not equipped physically or mentally to do any of that. That's why when they get down, they struggle. They absolutely struggle.
And even beside that, last week was a perfect example of our football team. All of a sudden, we're 2 scores up, and they score 2 long touchdowns against us.
Problem the Colts had last week, they just gave us too much time, and their defense was injured.
Yeah. So my whole point is that this team doesn't have that kind of energy right now to be able to handle adversity.
Let's go to Ponte Vedra. Let's get Frank in here on the 5th quarter on 1010XL. Frank, what do you got?
Hey, what do you guys think of the new defensive coordinator who got let go by Atlanta, who had a terrible defense last year? Is he part of the cause?
Frank, appreciate it. Now, Ryan Nielsen, to be fair, did not get let go in Atlanta. Arthur Smith got fired. He was on Arthur Smith's staff. And they hired Raheem Morris, and then obviously Raheem Morris wanted to bring in his guys. So Ryan Nielsen, by all indications, did a good job in Atlanta last year. I've had many Atlanta media guys on that liked Ryan Nielsen an awful lot. Having said that, Coach, he does not look good right now here in Jacksonville.
Well, I think there's questions now. I mean, after looking at it, I have to apologize, I guess, because I just like you. I was a big fan. I watched the Atlanta tape last year, and those guys played pretty darn good for not having as much talent as we had in some areas. But we're not showing it right now on defense. There's way too many mistakes. We're going, it's almost like there's an extreme hack. It's like we were playing all man, and they were killing us. So we went to all zone, and they killed us, in key situations there. And now all of a sudden, teams are scheming us because we're playing too much zone. There's no balance there with this football team, it doesn't seem like to me, on defense.
The Colts and the Bears today went through the Jaguars' defense like a hot knife through butter. And when you consider what Buffalo did on Monday Night Football, it's probably the worst defense in football. Statistically, it's one of them. I haven't seen a worse defense. Maybe Carolina, maybe. There's a lot of money invested in that defense. There's a lot of draft picks. And again, is it the players? Is it the coaching? Is it Trent Baalke? I would say probably yes to all 3 at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the conversation going into the offseason last season is how terrible this defense was. And they were made the scapegoats when Mike Caldwell and his coaching staff were fired for the collapse. But
Mike Caldwell's laughing his tail off right now.
Absolutely, he's laughing because we were told we were sold a bag of goods that only thing the coaching staff and the guys defensively was the reason why there's a collapse. But we're seeing the same thing. We're seeing the overflow of last year. Not much has changed. Man, listen, I would take Darius Williams right now, today, this moment. I mean, as bad as Darby's playing. Yeah. He's terrible.
Yeah.
He's awful.
He's bad.
Rayshon Jenkins, we let him go. I'll take him all day right now. He's up in Seattle taking pick sixes for a touchdown.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying we were sold a bag of goods that somehow those guys were expendable and the guys we bringing in are going to play so much better, and they have it. And the defensive coordinator now, in my opinion, these first 6 games, he's worse than Caldwell ever was here his whole tenure.
It's hard to argue any of that. Let's go to the north side. Let's get Zach in here on the 5th quarter. Zach, what's going on?
Hey, guys, I'll try to make this quick. I just think it was a joke that Cisco can call out anybody. You see how many tackles he missed in the last, not just today, but the last few games. He's playing terrible, and the call-outs are one. But I think you got to start from the top, including Shad Khan, but you got to go to Baalke. He didn't draft Aiden Hutchinson because he had small hands. How can you respect that in the locker room? And the whole team is just playing terrible. I'll take your comments off there.
It's a week-to-week league. In fairness, last week we sat here praising Trayvon Walker for 3 sacks. So we got to be, truthful here. Trayvon Walker did not do very much today. He would have had a big sack if, the Jaguars could count to 12 and realize they had one extra guy on the field that took a sack away from Trayvon Walker, which would have been his 6th sack on the year. But yeah, I mean, Trent Baalke, I was wrong about that. I apologize for that. I proclaim myself to be one of the presidents of the Trent Baalke fan club this offseason. The free agents they brought in, Armstead's done less than nothing. Luckily, he's a good guy because he hasn't joined Jerry Porter and Hugh Douglas yet, who, quite frankly, were not good guys here. But Eric Armstead's getting into your former teammate territory, Bryce Popp. I mean, as far as big money free agents that just do absolutely nothing here. I think Bryce Popp did nothing.
How's he my guy?
Well, he's your teammate. He's your former teammate, Bryce Popp, right? Yeah, okay. So, I mean, interesting. Maybe we'll elaborate on that later. But Eric Armstead, Ronald Darby, Mitch Morse, I thought got beat a couple of times. Gabe Davis is dropping touchdowns. I mean, Coach, it's bad across the board right now.
Well, first of all, I want to commend Leon Searcy for sticking up with his teammate because obviously Cisco did not do that today. But Leon going to stick with it. That's why he was a winner, and that's why they were winners here when he was here. Listen, I don't go along with the Baalke thing, but I do go along with Cisco. I don't know that Cisco isn't giving effort. In other words, whether or not he's a quitter or not, I don't think he was really talking about himself as far as quitting. But he has not played as well as he needs to play. Let me put it that way.
Let's get one more in on this side. For people just joining us, the big story tonight, and what will be a big story tomorrow and really all week, is Andre Cisco was in the postgame locker room today after the loss to the Bears, talking with our colleagues at Action Sports, basically insinuating that he saw some quit in his teammates. Because he looked at the camera, he had the microphone in front of him, he knew very well what those comments were going to do. And he even stopped. And, Coach, you saw it. He said, how do I say this? I saw a lot of quit. And he didn't name anybody, but he just said he saw a lot of quit. And obviously some NFL outlets have picked that up when you got a coach on the hot seat and a team underachieving at 1-5, and you got one of your team leaders on defense saying he saw a lot of quit in the locker room. That's what those comments people were talking about are in reference to. Let's quickly go to the state of Alabama, get Jonathan in here on 1010XL. Jonathan, what's happening?
Hey, gentlemen, I am fed up. 8 penalties today for the Jaguars compared to the Bears 2. Gabe Davis, you got to catch that opening touchdown, man. And Andre Cisco, I mean, it was nice to have the interception, but I don't think we did anything with it, did we?
No. I guess we stopped Caleb Williams, and it looks good for my fantasy team because I have Andre Cisco in an IDP league. That's about it.
Andre Cisco, I mean, he did not look good at all. I want to say the bright spot was Logan Cook again, punting, but other than that, I was not thrilled today.
Jonathan, appreciate it. There was nothing to be thrilled about. 35-16, Chicago over Jacksonville. Dan, Pierre, all you guys, hang in there. You'll be up on the other side. If you're on the line, we'll get to you. We're with you till 4:30 or so. Updating you on the 1 o'clock games that are getting into the witching hour, as Scott Hansen refers to it, on the NFL Network. The Texans 24-7, middle of the third. Houston's about to go to 5-1. Baltimore 26-13 over Washington. Philadelphia 13-10 over Cleveland. At the end of the third, Green Bay 24-13 over Arizona. New Orleans and Tampa Bay, Saints lead 27-24. And the Titans are up on the Colts 17-10 at the end of the third quarter. With Leon Searcy and the head coach Dave Campo, I'm the hacker Ryan Green. This is the Window World of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. We are presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings. We'll come back with a defensive player of the game, taking more of your calls at 641-1010. 35-16, Chicago embarrasses Jacksonville. But at least the Jaguars get to hang over in London for a week and enjoy the sights as they will get ready for just a humdinger next week. The NFL's got to be all sorts of fired up for the 1-5 Jaguars and the 1-5 Patriots. It's a showcase of the Immortals next Sunday at Wembley Stadium.
Connect with 1010XL.
On the line, with your friends. Now everyone's exchanging ideas.
Find 1010XL on your social channels.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. For the athletes who give everything, nothing beats Gatorade, the studied, tested, and proven fuel of the world's greatest athletes. Gatorade Water, proudly supporting high school sports on the First Coast.
Bold City AC, heating that rules.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options.
Bold City AC, we got the crew. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores.
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com. When they were little, the other girls played with dolls.
Aww.
They played with footballs.
You're them.
Yes, it's us.
Helmets and heels.
From the First Coast Lighting Studios at 1010XL.
Weekdays noon to 2.
Some girls have all the fun.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies. It's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals. Dine in with beer and wine. And delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Go with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Bringing you an extra quarter of football.
The window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings on 1010XL.
Dropping is Trevor, looking downfield. Fires downfield. That ball's going to be caught by Evan Ingram. Got it inside the 45-yard line. Now the ball came out and was fumbled by Evan, and the Bears have picked it up and are running it back. Evan Ingram fumbled after a huge gain inside the 45-yard line, and the Bears picked it up and have run this thing back.
Frank Frangie, Jaguars Radio. Yep. Evan Ingram had a very good game aside from that one play, but it was a very big play. It was a comedy of errors for the Jaguars, who are now 1-5 on the year, a 35-16 loss to the Chicago Bears. Every week here on the fifth quarter, we give you a defensive player of the game. That defensive player of the game is brought to you by our friends at Superior Fence and Rail. RJ, let's do it now. The Superior Fence and Rail defensive player of the game.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
All right, Leon Searcy, the defense, another tough day at the office, but a guy that just continues to play well. And you know my motto when it comes to defensive players of the game. In a game like this, I just look to the stat line. He led the team in tackles, 10 total tackles, 8 solo. We'll give it once again to Ventrell Miller. Third week in a row, 51 was all over the place.
Yeah, he might be the only bright spot. Him and Trayvon Walker, the bright spots. Listen, that one play where Caleb Williams ran the zone read and he took the ball and he ran him down. That was he had to have some motor to go get that. So, yeah, Vontae Miller, he's been making some plays the last couple of weeks.
Coach, there is blame all over the defense. So we're going to single out so many people this week. Everybody will be mentioned at some point. Devin Lloyd, on that first touchdown to Cole Kmet, you watch the tape, and again, I know you'll watch the All-22 this week. That appeared to be his fault. And the bigger problem I have with it is there's tape going around now when you get a shot of the end zone of that. Not only did Devin Lloyd not cover Kmet, he gave very little effort to try to tackle Cole Kmet down the field.
Well, it was a cover two. Yeah, you're talking about the double fake swing.
Yes, the first touchdown.
Yeah. It was a cover two, and it's called a Tampa two, where the middle linebacker has to go down the middle. And that guy is told, if you really understand the defense, the middle linebacker is told on the snap of the ball, if it's not a running play, he is responsible to go towards his position, which is to drive down the middle and then react to everything else. It's not his responsibility to play a swing pass on one side or the other. It's the corner and the outside linebacker on the outside, or the nickel on the other side. Well, they ran the double. They faked the swing one way, faked the swing the other way. The safeties are now occupied on the two wideouts, and there's nobody down the middle. And then when he recognized that, he just said, "Oh man, I screwed up."
And the thing, Leon, I don't care. I mean, it's a great play by the Bears. They get a paycheck too. All right, Lloyd was out of position. Look at the tape on that end zone shot. Devin Lloyd does not appear to be running 100% to try to make that tackle, which compounds the problem in a major, major way.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Coach, and him knowing that, I know that because in Pittsburgh we ran Tampa too.
Yeah.
When the middle linebacker was LeVon Kirkland.
Right.
And the first thing he's told is that you got the back middle, right? The middle.
Exactly.
And to run to the back middle.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse for him to sit there. And I want to understand, why was he sitting there when he's told to run back middle?
Well, first of all, undisciplined, number one. Number two, if I'm coaching him, I'm making sure he's doing that all the time. So, again, I have a tendency to blame the coaches sometimes when things don't go well. And that's kind of my mentality. It's our responsibility to make sure those guys are doing it right.
I know we talked about this when we started, but quickly, because we're on the topic, and we'll get back to the phone lines in a moment. Darby, the back-to-back holds on third down.
Right. That
extended the Bears' drive. They ultimately scored. He's a 10-year NFL corner. He knows what holding is. Right. I was stunned that he was arguing with the official, particularly the second one, when he was all over Keenan Allen. Yeah. That was the definition of holding. Do you put that on Nielsen, or is that on Darby?
No, that's on Darby. I mean, and usually when that happens, it's you almost get more illegal contacts than you do holding, because holding, usually if the ball's thrown on time, you don't have time to hold somebody. Mm-hmm. What happens is when the quarterback is moving around, then all of a sudden the guy's going in one direction, and then all of a sudden he sees the quarterback scrambling, and the receiver turns and goes the other way, and that's when you get the holding penalties. But even then, they're looking at you. Mm-hmm. Once you got one holding penalty, they're looking at you from then on. And there's a guy watching every one of those receivers. That's why you just can't do it. The numbers of times you get called as compared to the number of times you get away with it is astronomical. You don't get away with it very often.
641-1010 is the phone number. Back to the phone lines we go here on the fifth quarter. By the way, all phone calls here on the fifth quarter, the Garber Auto Mall phone line, and we certainly appreciate them as always. To the west side, let's get Dan in here on 1010XL. Dan, what do you got?
How you doing? You guys doing a good job. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear, bud. What's on your mind?
Well, I normally watch a football game, but I had to go to church, but I had my little headphones on. But, I kept watching that stuff, and it seems like every week these guys are playing. I know they're not stupid, and I know they got to be good. They're professionals, but it's just like they're just throwing the game. And it don't take many guys to throw a game. And I started thinking about when this all started. Trevor, when he signed that contract, he still had a year left on his rookie contract. They should have waited. But anyway, as soon as he signed that $55 million, that's like 28 weeks, and that's over $2 million a week, and that's like 2 men's lifetime back a while back. You know, got to work all their life to get that kind of money.
Dan, appreciate the phone call. So apparently Dan thinks the Jaguars consist of shoeless Joe Jackson, and they're just throwing games. I don't think they're throwing games. I just don't think they're very good. Yeah. I think they are the worst team in football. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like it or not, and I don't think it's necessarily fair, but if anybody cares to talk about the Jaguars nationally, which they probably shouldn't, and there's really no need to because they're awful, you talk about the worst contracts in the NFL right now, Trevor Lawrence will be on that list nationally, along with Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson. Those are the three. They're going to be considered the three worst contracts in football. The stuff Trevor Lawrence will get, again, if anybody even cares to talk about the Jaguars this week, will not be good, Leon.
No, and it's fair. When you play as poorly as this team has played, because initially you paid Trevor that money because you think he's the guy moving forward. All right, you gave him that money because you think he's going to be ascending, and he has it. Outside of the back end of 2022, what's Trevor really done? That's just facts. I mean, this whole notion of generational, like, he's not generational. There's nowhere near. There's one generational. The guy sits up in Kansas City. All right, number 15. The rest of the guys are just, he's at the table and they're in the room. But I'm just saying, it is one of the worst contracts. I don't think it's Deshaun Watson-ish right now. But it's damn near close.
And Deshaun Watson beat him head-to-head. Jaguars couldn't stop him either. Cleveland's only win, by the way, came against the Jaguars.
Yes.
641-1010. Let's go out to the state of California. Let's get Pierre in here on 1010XL. Pierre, what's happening?
How we doing, guys?
Oh, Pierre, if I was any better, man, I just don't know what I'd do.
Man, it's just like, the expectations they sold us on the product, and the product is not looking good right now. I mean, we do have a quarterback. Got this new stadium coming, but it doesn't matter if you're not going to put a winning team in there. It's just frustrating, man, because this team has potential, but they're not playing with no type of energy at all. Hopefully we can get something going here. I take it off there, guys.
Pierre, appreciate the phone call. Thank you for listening to us out on the West Coast. You mentioned the new stadium. The NFL owners are meeting in Atlanta starting tomorrow. That vote comes Tuesday. The expectation is they're going to approve the stadium, which is the last straw you need to build the stadium of the future. To Shad Khan, I said this back when they were getting crushed by Buffalo. Shad Khan has given them one of the nicest practice facilities in the NFL. They got the stadium of the future approved. Contract extensions to Trevor and Hines Allen and Campbell and Oluwakin, and bringing in all these free agents from Armstead to Darnell Savage to Darby to Mortz to Gabe Davis. I mean, you name it. Shad Khan has handed out check after check after check after check because he's listening to Trent Baalke and he's listening to Doug Peterson. At this point, why is he listening to them? I really don't know. That's for Shad to explain if he ever wants to. But when he tells our colleague Demetrius Harvey of the Times-Union that he backs them and thinks they're doing a good job, got to remember, Shad Khan is also the guy that gave paychecks to Dave Caldwell for 8 years. And Dave Caldwell arguably is one of the worst general managers in the history of the NFL. And Shad gave him 3 contracts over 8 years. To me, Shad is loyal to a fault. He hires football guys, or at least guys he thinks are football guys, and whether they're selling him a bill of goods, or I don't know what they're selling him. But I would think getting embarrassed today in London, they haven't gotten embarrassed in London in a while.
Yeah.
I would think after making those comments to Demetrius and getting embarrassed today at London, Shad is probably not very pleased.
Yeah, I mean, but why would he say that? I mean, I don't understand why he would say that he backs them. I mean, this team has played horrible. They had one game that they could have lost to the Colts. I mean, this team is a 14-point lead. We could have and should have probably lost to the Colts. You got to hold everybody in that organization, from the general manager on down. You got to hold their feet to the fire because this team is not playing well. This so-called assembled team, greatest of all time, is terrible, absolutely atrocious. I mean, he got to hold it. At some particular point, you've got to make a statement as an owner. You can't keep accepting bad when you're not getting any good in return.
You want a little salt in the wound, Coach? The Bears' long snapper got injured today in the first quarter. It was the second punt for Chicago. You think, okay, well, that could be interesting, right? Cole Kmet's the backup long snapper. He did the extra points and whatnot. He never had to snap the ball to the punter.
Yeah.
Because Chicago did not punt after that long snapper got hurt in the first quarter.
Right.
They did not punt in the second quarter, the third quarter, or the fourth quarter. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's kind of been the mantra here defensively for a while now.
They've allowed 69 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah. I mean, again, you don't run that double fake swings down the middle unless you're pretty sure that they're going to be in a cover 2.
And you have 12 seconds to throw the football.
Yeah. I mean, it's no pressure, and knowing that they're in cover 2, that's a pretty good call. I think that they probably figured that out.
No, let's go sign a 31-year-old with bad knees and have him as their third defensive end. Just a great call by Trent Baalke, bringing in his buddy Eric Armstead here. But at least Armstead gets to make more podcasts and stuff and get people to watch his YouTube channel. Let's go to our neck of the woods, to Mandarin. Let's get Regina in here on 1010XL. Regina, go ahead.
Good afternoon, and thanks. First of all, I want to say thank you for verbalizing everything all of us Jaguars fans are feeling. The team does suck. The one thing I wanted to bring out, which you've already pointed out, Coach Campo, Ryan Nielsen was supposed to be this defensive guru, and what has he done? And I'll take your comments off the air.
Everybody's getting blame. It appears where they're coming after Ryan Nielsen today, Coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's concern there. I mean, the one thing I knew about Ryan from some sources was that he needed a really good back-end guy, meaning that he's an up-front guy, and, he knows the front seven a lot better than he knows the secondary. Well, Chris Richard was considered a pretty well-respected secondary coach. He was with the Cowboys. I watched him coach some when I was there. And I thought he'd be that pretty good guy. I'm not sure that everybody's on the same page right now. When you see mistakes, where guys are not in the rush lanes that they're supposed to be in, or they're, the secondary is busting, whether it's a pass off or whether it's a straight man-to-man, that's on the coaches. So right now, I can see the concern that people would have on the defensive side of the ball because they are really, really struggling.
Leon, you were out at training camp every day.
Mm-hmm.
What's your biggest surprise? Did you have any inkling that they would be this bad?
No, I didn't. And it was fool's gold. I thought this team was going to be a lot tougher up front, which they aren't. I thought it was going to be a lot physical. I thought that the secondary, first week of watching them in camp, I'm talking about the DBs were, I'm trying to think of the word I was trying to, they were ripping at the ball, right, intercepting, all that kind of active hands.
Dewey Wingard had like 3 picks in one practice.
That kind of stuff. So, so I'm sitting there and I'm watching them. I said, this is a tack-style, man coverage defense. I said, we're going to be all right, but that was jag on jag.
Yeah.
It's that old saying. Yeah, we look good against each other, but then when we go out and we play other teams, that same energy, that same excitement, that same aggressiveness doesn't show up on the field.
One of the things that got me is what Leon just said as far as the aggressiveness and everything. I don't see us with any kind of a special blitz package at all. They've got to be scared to death that the corners can't cover anybody. The safeties can't cover anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we're going with a 4-man rush every time. Now, I will give our guys credit because they did pressure the quarterback some in this ball game, but he got away from the pressure. I've never seen as many guys get a hand on a quarterback and not be able to get him on the ground as this group.
Yeah.
We're coming clean sometimes, and the guy just stepping aside and running outside. And, to me, it's just dysfunctional right now, what's going on.
Leon, quickly, what's been your assessment, or what was your assessment today of the offensive line?
I think early they were okay. Middle, they were a little below average, and then towards the end, they were terrible.
Why is Anton Harrison not looked like he did last year?
He's not sound fundamentally all the time, and especially on the road. Listen, you got to understand that your technique on the road is different from your technique at home. At home, you can hear. On the road, you got a 5, 7, or 9 technique. You have the silent count, So then your technique has to be flawless because you literally are looking in at the ball and looking in at your opponent, and you've got to already know where you're gonna block him at, and he comes up short on a lot of his kick sets. And you know, that's something listen, you either care about your craft or you don't. If you're struggling with that kind of stuff, then you know what you do? Before practice, after practice, you work on it. In the weight room, you work. If you care enough, you put in the time. This is your craft. This is what pays you well. This is what helps feed your family. Put the time in, because when he's on the road, he struggles a lot because he doesn't kick enough, and he gives the short corner. He did it in Buffalo. He did it again here. Enough's enough.
Let's get one more in on this side. Again, if you're on the line, we'll get to you. We're with you for another hour or so, up until about 4:30. Let's go to the south side, get Greg in here on the fifth quarter. Greg, what's happening?
Yeah, hey, guys. Good show. Listen, I've got 3 quick comments, and I'll take them off the air. The comments from Peterson and Trevor after the game, it always sounds like a Charlie Brown cartoon. Wah, 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 wah. And then why don't we ever see Doug on the sideline really getting into it and excited like all these other coaches instead of chewing his gum all the time? And while we're at it, let's trade ETN. He's got to go. And wake up, Shad. This is not the best team there ever was. Make some changes. Thanks, guys.
Greg, appreciate it. Some guys aren't passionate. You were, if memory serves. You were a guy that's going to jump up and down the sideline and get after players, if I remember correctly, as you're smiling over there. So I think that's accurate. That's just not who Doug is, right? It doesn't appear to be who he is, but I get why the fans would be frustrated about that.
Yeah, I think it's frustration. I think the general consensus of most fans are that if you're not yelling at somebody in football, you're not the guy. You watch Harbaugh on the sideline.
Both of them.
They don't say anything. They don't really just kind of very similar to Doug.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you do off the field, though, is different, than what you do on the field. I always felt that one of the reasons that I went in the press box as a defensive coordinator was because I would be a maniac on the sidelines, and it was easier for me to make calls. Some guys can do it like this because they're calm, cool, and collected. That wasn't me as a coordinator or a head coach. And sometimes I wish I was more calm, cool, and collected. But when things aren't going well, somewhere along the line, you got to step in. The problem that you have a little bit with this outfit, it looks like to me, is that he made the decision when he brought Nielsen in here that that's your baby. And so he isn't going over there and saying much about it. I made the mistake when I was a head coach. I said, offensively, it's your baby. And I wish I could do it all over again because there's no way that's the way to go. You have to be involved in both sides of the football. And that's one thing that if you watch D'Amico Ryans, it looks like he's just all doing the defense. He's talking to those offensive guys on the sideline as well.
The Jaguars have allowed like 140 points in the last 4 games, whether it's Ryan Nielsen's baby or not. The heck with all that. Doug Peterson better get over there this week and better figure out what they're doing because they're pathetic. Quickly, before we step aside, again, we're with you till 4:30. Let's do the special teams player of the game, RJ. It's brought to you by Crown Royal. And here it is, this week's special teams player of the game, brought to you by our friends at Crown Royal.
Now, it's time to showcase the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game. Live generously and life will treat you royally.
I mean, you could go either way. I'm going to go Cam Little again just because he was responsible for a field goal made and an extra point. Logan Cook, I guess maybe an average day on his standards. He averaged 48 yards per punt. Actually, no. I can't do that. I just saw the stats.
No. You got
RJ, we're making an audible here. All due respect to Cam Little. Logan Cook did put 4 inside the 20-yard line.
He had a good day.
We got to give it to Logan Cook. He averaged, and that's the reason he averaged under 50 is because he was at least pinning them inside the 20. So calling, what does Trevor yell before he throws an incompletion or a pick? Kill, kill, kill. I'm killing the Cam Little special teams player of the game. I'm making the audible here, and I'm going to Logan Cook for 4 punts inside the 20. Logan Cook deserves this week's special teams player of the game. More of your phone calls. Dave, Leo, another Dave, Rich, hang in there. You'll be up on the other side. Chicago, love and life. They're 4-2. They had 2 top 10 picks. Both guys are doing well, including their quarterback, who threw for 4 touchdowns against the Jacksonville Jaguars today. The Jaguars are 1-5 and probably the worst team in football. More to do. Window World of Northeast Florida. The 5th quarter rolls on. We are presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Hey, Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more, and please drink responsibly.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic. My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
After a storm passes, the assessment of the aftermath begins. Sometimes damage to the roof is obvious, like leaks or missing shingles, broken or damaged gutters, or tree debris. But storm damage is not always as clearly present. Universal Roofing Contracting is here to help and will come assess your roof for any hidden damage. Call Universal Roof to schedule your free roof inspection at 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Jags Hall of Famer Tony Baselli puts on his gold jacket every Monday morning at 7:20 on The Drill.
Does look good.
It's Hall of Fame Monday with Tony Baselli.
Good? It's great.
Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida on 1010XL.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Here in North Florida, you know that when temperatures go up and your AC goes out, you need help now. Like right now. Like lickety-split. So why not call Lickety Split and get same-day emergency service for your AC? Now, I bet you've seen their trucks all over town because they've got dozens of certified technicians ready to repair not only your AC, but your home's plumbing and electrical too. So when you want it done right, and you need it done right now, call Lickety Split, AC, Plumbing, and Electric.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is the window world of Northeast Florida 5th quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings on 1010XL.
Trevor drops, looks, steps up, scrambles, fires toward the end zone. That ball's going to be caught for the touchdown. He found Gabe Davis near the far pylon. He stepped into the end zone for the touchdown.
Frank Frangie, Jaguars Radio. Gabe Davis, 2 touchdowns today. His first 2 touchdowns as a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Every week here on the 5th quarter, we do give you a play of the game. That play of the game is brought to you by Performance Painting. RJ, let's do it now. The Performance Painting play of the game.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
That was the Performance Painting play of the game. A couple of touchdowns for Gabe Davis, Leon Searcy. Gabe Davis and the fan base seem to get off on the wrong foot because you had the issue with Trevor last week. Both guys kind of played off. Then he drops the touchdown today. He had a drop of a touchdown. What was it, against Cleveland maybe earlier in the year? Even though he had a couple of touchdowns today, I just think the fans, at least the ones on social media, just not very high on what they've seen out of Gabe Davis so far.
And rightfully so. We paid him well. He gets paid to catch touchdown passes, So, listen, no one, when you're 1-5, no one's exempt. No one gets exempt. Everybody has the right to say what they need to say about a guy, especially with a team that's 1-5.
Has Eric Armstead, coach, been as inconsequential as it appears?
Yeah, I heard his name for blocking that field goal. That's the only time I've heard his name in 2 or 3 ball games.
He had 1 sack against Miami at the beginning of the year, but that was 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, and as a defensive end, I don't think he looks very good. One time he was stumbling around out there. He's an inside guy, and they count him as an outside guy.
Yeah, 31-year-old pass rusher with bad knees. That's just a great combination. Trent Baalke, that was that to bring him in.
Well, I think the initial intention, thought was that he was going to be Calais-like.
Yeah.
What a joke he is.
Well, he's not.
He's not. Absolutely, he's not. And he needs to be interiorly. Listen, where was the Eric Armstead that we played last year with the 49ers just tore through us like a I don't know.
He was playing against the Jaguars as opposed to playing for the Jaguars.
Yes.
A lot easier.
He tore through us like a Christmas ham. I don't know. Where's that guy? That guy has been gone a long time ago.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mandarin. Let's get Leo in here on the 5th quarter on 1010XL. Leo, what's happening?
Hey, Coach and Leon and Hacker, I appreciate y'all taking my call. Y'all got me laughing because that's all I can do now. I'm not even going to yell, man. I got a question and a statement I wanted to make. Hacker, you know what I like about you, and I've always listened to these shows. We doing it again, man. We lost again. But listen, you said it at the top of your show, buddy. You said it at the top of the show what the problem is. What's that stat you threw out? Give me them stats again. I love when you throw them little stats out, bro. You got that. It's Shad Khan's fault, dude. I've been telling y'all since day one. I don't care what nobody say about he don't play and this, that, and the other. Bro, he wastes money. And I'm going to say this. Mercedes Lewis should still be on this football team. That's the microcosm what I'm talking about. Never been trying to build a football team. He could at least point to Mercedes Lewis and say, you know what? That man been an anchor. We drafted him. He don't have not one dude like that on his team because he's not been trying to build a team. That's why he's been going through general manager after general manager. Listen, and let me tell you where he lost me, guys. Let me tell you where he lied. Y'all talking about he back in the coaches. He said this the best team roster he done is. Bro, that 2017 team was way better than this team top to bottom. That's with Blake Bortles. I'll take Blake Bortles over Trevor Lawrence right now. Bro, did he say that, really? He's a con man. I don't believe him. All he cared about was getting his hands on this city. And they gave it to him. And that's when they started putting out all that fake money. But I'm going to ask y'all this, Coach and Leon. If you practicing, I guess in practice they practice against man, right? If you practicing against man and Trevor practicing against man, but the whole rest of the damn league doing zone, how you going to be any good, buddy? Listen, we always get another team trash. Or not trash, but why you think Atlanta got rid of him? Buffalo didn't want Gabe Davis. Are they missing Gabe Davis? Is 49ers missing Eric Armstead? Dude, we've done this for 12 years.
We appreciate the phone call, appreciate the passion. Quickly to the Shad. He's made some bad moves as far as keeping GMs and head coaches. again, Shad has given them the resources. He's given them the money. He's given them free reign to give extensions, to go bring in free agents, the brand new, beautiful practice facility, the Miller Electric Center. I mean, I have no complaints from that standpoint for Shad Khan. And be very careful when you criticize Shad. Again, you ask the people in St. Louis what happens when you get an owner that has no issue with leaving a city. They end up in L.A. in the snap of a finger. Shad Khan could have done whatever he wanted to with this organization after he bought it from Wayne and Dolores Weaver. He kept it here. It's going to be here. That Stadium of the Future is getting passed. I get the frustration, and I get people are pissed, and you have every right to be pissed about 1-5. And by the way, that record with Shad as the owner, 61 wins, 140 losses. They've won only 31.4% of the games that Shad Khan has owned this team since 2012. But Shad has done an awful lot for this city. Now, there's no debating that.
No, there's no debating that. But I think what the fan base is tired of is that the fact that there seems to be no consequences for all that he invested in this team this year.
He's too loyal. He's too loyal.
It's got to be consequences when you make those kind of statements. You spend that kind of money. You back your coaching staff and you back the GM, and they give you this product of 1-5. There's got to be some consequences for that because it looks to the fan bases that you're comfortable with being less than mediocre.
You worked for Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I mean, the end-all, be-all of NFL owners when it comes to wanting to win, there isn't a scenario on planet Earth where Jerry Jones would have a 31% winning percentage as an owner.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that there's a fine line there because I worked for a guy who I love, by the way. I love Jerry Jones. He's a loyal guy, almost to a fault as well. But he is so hands-on that it's the opposite. As a coach, I would prefer the guy that's more patient and is not quite as hands-on like Shad Khan. Now, you can be too patient. That's what the concern with is the fan base.
Again, when he made that statement, McManus, I think it was McManus, we did the Duval rundown right after the game, and I was on YouTube with Mia and Gus and Tommy Mack, and I want to say it was McManus that said this. When Shad got up there to address the team in the in training camp, right? This is the best team we've ever had. I wonder if he was told that by the people that he trusted. You know, did Trent Baalke come out and tell him that? I mean, why did Shad say that? Does he truly believe that? Because I don't know if Shad knows how good you guys were in 1999. I would be hard-pressed to believe that he knows what happened here 25 years ago.
Well, take a history class.
Well, I mean, but it almost to me, and again, I don't want to misspeak. I think it was Tommy, and I'll give him credit. It's almost as if somebody said that to him, and that's when he addressed the team. This is the best team we've ever had. I mean, which looks terrible now. And again, it looks bad when you go to Demetrius Harvey and interview with the Times-Union on Friday and say that you feel good about the direction it's going with Trent and Doug, and then you go out and get absolutely spanked in London, right in front of all his business colleagues over there. It's just not a good look, man.
It's obvious to me that whoever's making the decisions as far as what's happening with who we have, who we're playing with, all of those things, whether it's Trent or whether it's a combination of Trent and Doug or whatever, they had a much higher opinion of the guys they had, starting with not making any changes last year from the first year to Doug's first year to the second year. So obviously the enthusiasm of those guys affected Shad Khan. There's no question about it in my mind.
You've coached for decades. You played for 11 years. Let me start with Leon. Is this salvageable? I mean, when you have Andre Cisco in the postgame locker room throwing out terms like, I saw a lot of quit, referring to how the team performed on the field. You know, Doug's on the hot seat anyway. Regardless of what Shad says publicly, at some point, the hens are going to come home to roost, right? I mean, at some point, you got to do something. Is this salvageable within reason? I mean, obviously, if they win 10 in a row, then yeah, of course it is, but I don't foresee that happening.
It can be, but this team, what they got coming up, they've got to become a lot tougher mentally and physically, and their play has to elevate. They've got to play at their extreme best, and I don't see it happening. with the teams that are coming down the road, like the Eagles and the Jets and the Texans and the Vikings
at Detroit,
at Detroit and Green Bay. Those you got to remember. Those teams that I just mentioned, their state of mind by the time we play them is going to be playoff position. We're just trying to get another win. Those teams are jockeying for positions. In late November and December, those teams are jockeying for positions in seeding and all that kind of stuff. And we'll be wandering the wilderness.
Coach, is it salvageable? I mean, the bottom line is they have the same record right now as Urban Meyer had in 2021. Urban Meyer was 1-5 in 2021. The Jaguars are 1-5 in 2024. That's nauseating to me.
Yeah, I'm concerned. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The way this team is playing, with the confidence level that it's at right now, can they win a couple ball games? Absolutely, because in this league you can play. I've always said that I don't worry about all this stuff about there's only been one team or two teams do this or that. It's what you do the next week. I'm not sure this team has the wherewithal to, put it together on a consistent basis. I think if you looked at this football team and said, who are they? They've got a 10-play drive and then a 3-and-out. Then they got a 8-play drive and an interception. Then they've got they're inconsistent with everything they do. And that's on both sides of the football. And when you have that situation, it's kind of hard that's kind of who you are. You've heard you are what your record says. So for me, I think it will be very difficult. And I actually text you, I think, and I'm not necessarily proud of it, but I'm going to say it. We're looking at the number one pick right now in the draft.
Number one pick in the draft, and we're looking at a new coaching staff. It could be a very interesting offseason here on 1010XL because odds are they're going to have a new coaching staff in Gainesville, too. I threw it out there. Who deserves to be fired first? And I hate doing this.
Yeah, me too.
Because I like Billy Napier and I like Doug Peterson. But the bottom line is both guys are probably going to lose their job. And both guys at this point, you're getting awful close to saying deserve to lose their job. That thing got like 700 votes already, and Doug Peterson's overwhelmingly leading, although if I would have asked it last night, Billy Napier would have led. But it's going to be a really interesting offseason here in North Florida. If the Gators' job is open and the Jaguars' job is open. Let's try to get a couple more in. Again, if you're on the line, we'll get to you. We'll take calls for another 30 minutes or so. Let's quickly go to Mandarin. Let's get Dave in here on the fifth quarter. Dave, what do you got?
Hey, Hacker, how you guys doing?
Doing well, buddy. How are you?
Been better. Listen, I spent my 65th birthday yesterday with my 5 grandkids, so that was a beautiful thing. But listen, man, I've got 4 season tickets, and I know you've lost a lot of weight, and I'm about to lose some weight too with those 4 tickets. I'm going to donate them to Big Brothers and Big Sisters because I can't go and watch another garbage like we've had, man. Leon, my brother, thank you so much, man. Been season ticket holder since day one, and the memories that you gave us, man, were unbelievable, man. And when you said consequences, there has got to be some consequences. And Hacker, you talked about the game next week. The matchup of the Immortals is going to be a matchup of the losers, man. I'm an avid Jaguars fan, man, but I need a blood transfusion because I can't bleed no more, man. I really can't.
Dave, appreciate it. Love the passion, and unfortunately, Leon, that's how a lot of Jaguar fans feel tonight. They're just like, why do we do this every Sunday, year after year after year?
I don't blame them. The disappointment. We go on every season of the last couple of years with the expectations of this team winning the division, this team going to the playoffs, and then this team gives us this year in and year out. And it's embarrassing, to be quite honest with you, because I'm a Jaguar. I know what I did. I know what me and my teammates did to rep this city, to rep this county to the fullest. We played with heart, with passion, because we knew that was the community that we were around. The T-Mac, the Tommy Macs, the Kevin Hardys, those Donovan Darius, all those guys, the Fred Taylors, the Tony Basellis, man, we played with passion, man. We gave a damn because we rep Jacksonville. So it's just disheartening for me to see this team play so poorly. We never went into a season where the expectations were so high and we failed it.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
In 17 years, dating back to 2007, the Jaguars have one regular season with double-digit wins. And that was in 2017 where they won 10 games. One in 17 years of double-digit wins in the regular season.
You've heard me say this before. The one thing that affects ownership more than anything else is when the fans stop coming. one of the reasons that the Cowboys have been able to stay where they've stayed is, because the fans still revered them because they played good enough to get to the playoffs. They played good enough, after those Super Bowl years, just like when you guys went to the AFC Championship game. That has lasted with the fans for 30 years, and they've won enough. But when you don't win and the fans stop coming, or guys start selling, giving season tickets away, that's what affects ownership. And so there'll be some accountability if things don't turn around.
Rich, Dave, you guys have been on hold forever. I promise you will be the first two out of the gate. We will get to you. Josh as well. If you want to get in, we got room for you. One more segment of calls. Some of the 1 o'clock games are beginning to wind down. Philadelphia has beat Cleveland 20-16. The Browns are 1-5. Of course, their one win came right here at Trevor Bank Stadium against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Indianapolis on top of Tennessee 20-17 at the 2-minute warning. Buccaneers 37-27 over New Orleans. Ravens are going to beat the Commanders, it appears, 30-23 Baltimore. Houston's about to go to 5-1. They're going to beat New England. And Green Bay is about to beat Arizona. So next week, boy, what a humdinger we got. The 1-5 Jaguars and the 1-5 New England Patriots at Wembley Stadium. You want to talk about NFL football at its finest. That ought to be a lot of fun next Sunday at 9:30 East Coast time. It is the Window World of Northeast Florida. Fifth quarter, as always, we are presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings. One more segment of calls right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. The great thing about live sports, you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, how did he pull that off?
Get the most live play-by-play on 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Have you been betting and winning at MyBookie.com? If you haven't bet with MyBookie yet, they are still running the double deposit bonus. Just sign up with promo code 1010XL. We are on to NFL Week 6. There are a ton of college matchups that run through the weekend as well. Get some skin in the game. You should certainly have your eye on that spread for Florida versus Tennessee on Saturday night. Then we play the Bears to kick off NFL Sunday morning. The Jaguars probably going to be a slight underdog. If you think the Jags can win in London, bet it. But then the surging Commanders play the Ravens, the Cowboys play the Lions, and then for Sunday Night Football, you have the Bengals traveling to New York to play the Giants. For a limited time, MyBookie still has that double deposit bonus. Use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus. That doubles your money on your very first deposit up to $1,000. Double your money with 1010XL before you even place a bet. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Follow the Canes as they storm the ACC.
I'm 1010XL's JJ LaSelva, and every week I'll bring you the Miami news and notes you need to know.
The Performance Painting Hurricane Report on 1010XL. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com. This college football season, we're celebrating more than touchdowns. It's time to honor playmakers of the classroom. Thanks to FIS and the College Football Playoff Foundation, Gator Bowl Charities is surprising 16 local teachers with $1,000 each week. Every honored teacher gets a special invitation to the Taxpayer Gator Bowl January 2nd to be celebrated on the field. Teachers from Clay, Duval, Nassau, and St. Johns County, grades K through 12 are eligible. Nominate a deserving teacher today and let's score big for education at TaxpayerGatorBowl.com.
Bold City AC, heating that rules.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options.
Bold City AC, we got the crew. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker. Because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
3D Digital has you covered for any of your business's digital marketing needs. From producing award-winning videos to getting those digital ads to follow your customers around the internet, our team has your back. Visit 3ddigital.com or give us a call at 904-712-4004 to schedule a free consultation today. 904-712-4004.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
The Window World of Northeast Florida, 5th quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings on 1010XL.
Pump fake. Another pump fake. Now throws the middle field. Colcomet is wide open. He's got it. He broke a tackle inside the 5. Lunges for the goal line. Touchdown. He pump faked left, pump faked right, and Cole Kmet was wide open in the middle of the field. Broke a tackle, leaned into the end zone for the touchdown. A 31-yarder, and the Bears have taken the lead.
Frank Frangie on the call, Jaguars radio, and Cole Kmet finding the end zone. Kmet had a very, very good game, no question about it. 35-16, Chicago beats Jacksonville. Every week here on the 5th quarter, we do give you a drive of the game. That drive of the game is brought to you by our friends at Randy Marion Cadillac. RJ, let's do it now. Randy Marion Cadillac brings you this week's drive of the game.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
All right, 21-3. Things were certainly not going good, but to their credit, the Jaguars went 11 plays, 70 yards, 5 minutes, 20 seconds off the clock. Trevor Lawrence to Gabe Davis, the first of 2 touchdown catches for Gabe Davis today in the Jaguars' 35-16 loss to the Chicago Bears. Back to the phone lines we go. Final segment of Phone Callers with Leon Searcy and Dave Campo, the hacker Ryan Green with you. Let's head over to Orange Park. Let's get Dave in here on the 5th quarter. Dave, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Hack? Hey, Leon, what's up, Coach? Can y'all hear me pretty good?
Yeah, Dave, we're good. Just turn us down. I sound beautiful in the back, but just turn the radio down.
I know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, buddy.
Listen, I just got it. I heard y'all on the topic of first round, and that was actually what I was calling about. How many first round does this team need to be playoff contenders? It's ridiculous that we got so many first rounders, and we can't even make the playoffs. I mean, year after year after year. I think the last time we had a good first round when Ramsey was in town. After that, we're not even playoff contenders with these first rounds.
Dave, appreciate it. We're getting close to the point of starting to look at that as far as draft purposes. We're 11 games to go, which sucks, but it's reality. The Jaguars would be hypothetically, if it doesn't get any better, and I don't believe it probably will, and the Jaguars do have a top 5 pick, maybe the number 1 pick, who knows? They're not drafting a quarterback. Financially, you literally can't do it. But it's a good year for there to be a lot of quarterbacks. Carson Beck, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward. Potentially, you might get a ransom in a trade from a team that wants to trade up. So if you're looking for any silver lining, it's a good year to suck because there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks at the top of the draft, and you literally cannot draft one of them because you just gave $275 million to Trevor. You could have a Chicago Bears-type haul that Carolina gave them to basically rejuvenate your franchise. Again, looking ahead of the card here, but I don't see a lot of wins on that schedule.
Well, let me ask you a question. Okay, we do. Let's say, unfortunately, we do have the number 1 pick. We trade down to the 5th pick. Who would you be intrigued to take? Because I think you should take the left tackle from LSU, Will Campbell. Because with your man Cam Robinson walking out the door, you move him to the left, and then you got Anton Harrison. But that would make too much sense. So I know that's not going to happen.
I'm trying to be positive here on October 12th or whatever it is, 13th. I just can't look at mock drafts yet. I physically can't bring myself to do it. So I don't know a lot of guys at the top other than the quarterbacks. Travis Hunter's pretty good, right? So the last time I checked, he's pretty good from Colorado.
He's special.
Somebody like that.
Yeah, we don't need. But go ahead. But we're the Jag thing to do. He's an outstanding player. He can play corner or wide receiver. But we'll probably draft him.
Well, all I know is, Coach, unfortunately, we're getting to that point where we're starting to at least talk about that, which is ridiculous in the month of October.
Yeah, it's a shame. And I'm kind of impressed with Leon, though, that he knows some of those names already.
We ought to break down some alignment for you, man. There's no question about that.
Listen, I'm all for alignment because we're struggling over there.
Let's go to the south side. We got 2 more callers left, Josh and Gary. Josh, let's get you in under the wire here. What do you got? Josh, are you there?
How you doing, guys?
What's up, buddy? Go on, man. What you got on your mind?
Yeah, so I've been a fan since the beginning. Born in '91. My dad's retired Navy, so some of my core memories are going to Alltel Stadium, and seeing the Jags play and all that. It seems like Trevor and Doug kind of have the same attitude, win or lose. They're monotone. They don't really show any emotion. So really my question is for Leon. Was Coach Coughlin like this? We just had him inducted to the Ring of Pride, and what's your take on all this? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Well, Coach Coughlin was a little different. he came across a little different. Coach Coughlin would never call out an individual, but he would call out groupings. He would say the offensive line couldn't block well, or the defensive front couldn't get any pressure, and those kind of things like that. But he made sure that the message was clear if we weren't playing well. Absolutely.
The Andre Cisco thing we've talked about, it's going to be the big story. In case you're just joining us, Cisco told our colleagues at Action Sports in the postgame locker room that he, quote, saw a lot of quit out there. Didn't name names, but used the word quit. And he used the word quit in an NFL locker room. That's going to get some attention. And it's gotten a lot of attention on a lot of NFL websites in the last hour and a half. Being a former head coach in the league, how does Doug Peterson deal with that tomorrow?
Well, I don't know how Doug Peterson deals with it, but the way he should deal with it is bring the guy in. Now, whether or not you find the guy, that's, whatever your thoughts are as a head coach. But I know one thing, I would make it very clear to him that that's not the way we operate. That, it's one thing, you can have your own opinion of things, but number one, I don't think it'll go very well in the locker room. And number two, you're throwing the entire organization under the bus. Now, that's not the way we should be operating.
Cisco did not specify in coaching players. He just said he saw a lot of quit out there.
And I don't like that.
Right.
Because if you're going to make that statement, you need to point, who are you talking about? You need to tell me who that you saw quit.
Is that, and there was that report that Doug had lost the locker room. That report got squashed. We didn't talk about it last week because they beat Indianapolis, so all was right with the world. Now getting embarrassed in London, here we go again. A player coming out in the media and saying something public like that, is that an indication that there's issues in that locker room with the coach?
Well, there's issues in the locker room for the simple fact that he had the gall, the mitigated gall, to say that.
Right.
Because, listen, those kind of templates are supposed to be within the confines of your teammates. Everybody should not be privy to that kind of information if that's what you thought. Now, what you should have done is that in the next team meeting room, you should have got up and said, "Hey, coach, you know, if you're gonna show them kind of stones, then you need to stand up in front of the team meeting room and say, "Hey, coach, I saw some quit in the game." And then the coach says, "Well, since you saw some quit, point to the guys that you saw quit."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't if you're gonna have some stones, then you do it the right way. You confront the team and you raise your hand and say, "Coach, I saw some quit with the game." And then coach said, "Well, point out the quit." You see, he won't have the stones to point out the guys that he thought they quit.
Final call of the night, Southside Gary. You got about 60 seconds. Gary, what's on your mind?
Hey, guys, I saw Carson Wentz under Doug Peterson go from an MVP candidate to basically out of the league in a couple of years. And now Trevor has seemed to regress under Doug Peterson. I would like you guys to answer that red flag. Doug Peterson being the next quarterback and the lack of progress, the fact of regression under Trevor Lawrence, that's now the second quarterback under Doug Peterson's watch that has gone backwards. And I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah, and we'll address that. That's the issue, right? Doug Peterson was literally hired, to get Trevor Lawrence to where we all thought he could go, which was one of the top quarterbacks in the league. That's why you hire an offensive guy, a former quarterback, to work with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor has gotten worse from 2022 until now. To me, there's just not a bigger indictment of the job that Doug Peterson has done here than the way Trevor Lawrence looks compared to when Peterson arrived here 3 years ago. Final thoughts. We'll try to bring you some positivity. I'm not sure how. By the way, Indianapolis has beaten Tennessee. So if there's any silver lining, Jacksonville, at least the Titans suck too. They're 1-4. Jaguars are 1-5. Indianapolis 3-3. The Texans 5-1 as they beat New England earlier this afternoon.
Bet live with Hard Rock Bet. Real-time wagering till the very last play. Missing the kickoff doesn't mean all bets are off.
Delay a game on the guy who hasn't bet yet.
Sometimes you just know your team is going to come back. There's sportsbook for every kind of player.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
When it comes to selling your home, it can be stressful. Take the stress out with my friends Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. How's this for a guarantee? Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they'll buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers, and if you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home. Take Kim in Palm Coast. I needed to move closer to family ASAP, but I had to sell my Palm Coast home first. I tried and failed with another agent. So my family said, you got to call Chad and Sandy. Well, sure enough, as promised, Chad and Sandy did it. They sold my home in 3 days, above asking price. Call the local Jacksonville experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy today at 904-414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
Homeowners, listen up. The Fed has taken action, lowering rates for the first time in years, and Loan Pronto has followed suit, lowering mortgage rates big time. Prosser here. That means this is the best chance in 2 years to do a cash-out refi and unlock all that equity at an amazing rate. Loan Pronto has fixed loans under 5% APR, the lowest in 2 years. You can get a fast refi and get $50,000 to $75,000, even $100,000 in cash. Use it to pay off all your credit cards, personal loans, car loans. You'll end up with one payment each month. And for most homeowners, they save over $850 every month. If you want to keep your original mortgage intact, ask about the Loan Pronto Express Equity Line of Credit. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. So call now. Get your rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781.
Everyone who puts on a high school football uniform dreams of Friday Night Glory.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, Friday Night Lights.
Join Hacker and Andrew Gibson, presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Stuck on what to do with a plumbing issue? Just call the Duck. Duck Duck Rooter are experts at plumbing and are a 5-star Google-rated company. You name it, they do it. Water heater replacements to sewer drain cleaning, leaks to repipes. Fully licensed and insured with highly trained technicians. Trust the Duck to fix it right. Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy Subs and Sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Being an athlete means having a healthy desire to do as much as you can with your body for as long as you can. Gatorade has lower sugar, electrolyte-backed hydration options to keep you rehydrated and replenished. Gatorade, for every athlete.
From Gatorade Zero to Gatorade Endurance Formula and Gator Light, there's something for every athlete. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Gatorade, official partner of the NFL.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, putting an extra 60 minutes on the clock. The window world of Northeast Florida, 5th quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings on 1010XL.
Running play, Swift right up the middle. He got hit, but he got it into the end zone. It was only a yard away. Touchdown, Chicago. And now they've extended the lead. They're not going to review this one. Touchdown, Bears. Yet again.
Frank Frangie, Jaguars Radio. That pretty much sums it up. Chicago 35, Jacksonville 16. Every week on the 5th quarter, we do give you an injury update. The injury update is brought to you by the law offices of Farah & Farah. RJ, let's do it right now. The Farah & Farah injury update.
The personal injury attorneys of Farah & Farah present this injury update. Farah & Farah, Jacksonville, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The big one's Travis Etienne. Had the shoulder, came back from that in the last week. Now apparently a hamstring. We did not see much of Etienne. I don't think we saw him at all in the second half. It was all Tank Bigsby and it was all Dearness Johnson. And again, Etienne just banged up, and it's unfortunate, but it's the reality of the situation. It's been an injury-plagued season so far for Travis Etienne. All right, we're at the 2-minute warning. Let's begin with Coach Campo. 1-5. They're still going to play 11 games, right? The season's not going anywhere. They have 11 more games to play. How do you dig yourself out of a colossal hole at this point?
Well, I think it just comes down to going back to work. I mean, at this point right now, I personally think somebody in the locker room needs to stand up and point it out. And you got to get the team somebody's got to take control of the team. You don't lose that many games without something going wrong in the locker room.
Leon Searcy, you're literally one of the most positive human beings I know when it comes to the Jaguars and giving fans hope. So I'll give you the floor here. 1-5, give them hope.
Well, let me just say this. Players run locker rooms, all right? They run locker rooms. And if there's anybody there that has any heart that wants to salvage this season, they'll find a way to win a game. You got 11 games left. You got to find a way to win a game. You got to play with some heart. You got to play with some passion. You got to play with some resilience. And if you want to fold your 10, then fold your 10. But if you think you got the kind of team that you think you have, the guys that want to play and win will put the pressure on the other guys to make sure they play so they can win.
Leon Searcy, the Pro Bowler. Leon, appreciate you as always, man. We'll hear you tomorrow on XL Primetime.
You got it.
The head coach, Dave Campo. Coach, love you, my friend. I'll have you tomorrow night on Hacker After Dark.
Absolutely.
RJ Saunders was your producer. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. This has been the Window World of Northeast Florida, 5th quarter, presented by Von Rowan Law and Hurricane Grill and Wings. Hurricane Grill and Wings sounds pretty good. I think we might need to do that
right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially the hurricane part.
I think so. Jeff Prosser will be in this studio at 6 a.m. Woo! And we're going to kick off 18 hours of local programming tomorrow here on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it should be quite the Monday. For all of us on the 5th quarter, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We'll talk to you tomorrow here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.